Welcome back to part 4 of my series reviewing costumes from the series DC Superhero Girls G1 from 2015. Today is Poison Ivy. I've got 2 photos of her costume right here. The left side is the one with the correct colors, but the one on the right you can more clearly see the different elements, so I just decided to include them both. One thing you might notice about this outfit is that it diverges from the typical version of Poison Ivy, where she might be wearing like a leotard or something that's supposed to be like sexy, but they're not going to do that for this show for literal 8-year-olds. So instead they have her in this like girly aesthetic, I think is what they were trying to do. But there are still elements of what she usually has. So for example, her like sweetheart neckline that she's got going on here sort of reminds me of the sweetheart neckline that is usually included on her leotards, as well as the obvious orange and green color scheme. Similar to what I said in the past video about Harley Quinn, where I pointed out that her outfit looks a little bit dated now, so does Poison Ivy's. I don't mind it that much. Adding more voiceover to clarify what I mean by this, I don't mean at all that I think the outfit is ugly or anything, same with Harley's. What I mean is that the designers were clearly going based off of what was trendy at the time, and sometimes it's really in character, and sometimes the designers might sacrifice character for a trend, but I don't think that's necessarily happened in this case. Later in the video, I'll talk about why the design does make sense for her character, similar to what I said about Harley. As you can see here, she has this like mullet skirt situation, which doesn't bother me as much as these freaking leggings, because like if I had leggings those length, they would be riding up over my knees. Those cannot be staying in place for as long as they are. Maybe she has thorns sewn into the hems that just poke into her skin and keep it in place. Who knows? That's a joke. So this outfit also doesn't look very superhero-y. It's another one of those ones that literally just looks like clothing. It doesn't, this is her super suit, but it doesn't look like it. So that's one of the things I don't really like about it. Some of the elements of this outfit really make sense with how Poison Ivy specifically operates in a fight. So once again, the mullet skirt, the weird pants, her ballet flat shoes, which aren't very good for running or kicking or anything because they might fall off, and her loose hair, which I talked about this in the Wonder Woman video. Loose hair for most fighters would not be preferable. I think it's better to have it tied back. But for Poison Ivy, she is, first of all, a ranged fighter because she prefers to fight her opponents from, standing very far away and having her plants come at them from all sorts of angles. And this also doesn't require her to move her body a lot. So other ranged fighters might still have to move their arms for, example, if they're archers or something. But this isn't a problem for Poison Ivy. Mobility isn't an issue here. So I think that gives the designers a lot of freedom in what they're able to do with the outfit because they don't have to consider mobility. Going back to the hair, I think this design is really cute because they didn't just slap on some orange hair and call it Poison Ivy, which is what a lot of designs do. They tried to make it match the plant aesthetic. So she has what almost looks like a bubble braid, but I'm pretty sure it's just a vine that's like in a coil and like spiral wrapped around the hair. And if you look really closely, you can tell that her bangs are part of the bubble braid, which is like confusing to me how that works. I don't think it would look like that, but like aesthetically it's fine. There's multiple different vine related elements that match the hairpiece, so it's even more matching with the outfit because there's also vines on her belt and some vines on her legs, which honestly it kind of makes her look like a ballerina because she's got like leg wraps and shoes that literally look so close to ballet shoes that they're called ballet flats, and a mullet skirt that kind of looks like a tutu. But back to what I was talking about with the vine thing, her belt, it appears to be fastened by a rose, which brings in another color to her color scheme, and it also coordinates with her lipstick, which is kind of a cute decision. I just think it's really funny how, depending on what poison ivy design you're looking at, sometimes they don't incorporate poison ivy leaves at all, even though it's in her name, but they'll incorporate like random rose elements because everybody knows what a rose is, right? Maybe poison ivy just isn't recognizable enough. I don't know, like depending on where you live. Or maybe she just doesn't want to wear poison ivy. That's probably it. She probably doesn't want to wear poison ivy on her skin. I think that's it. Although, is poison ivy like part plant? Can poison ivy touch her if she's part plant? Is she part plant in this version? I don't know. I just watched Harley Quinn, so I feel like I don't know if that's a normal part of her lore or not. I'm getting sidetracked a lot in this video. All in all, I love this design. I think it incorporates her powers really well and makes sense for her as a character, but the aesthetic isn't really giving superhero like it should. So in the comments, you can tell me if you agree with my review, or you can suggest a character for tomorrow's episode.